Hi, my name is Rosalind Kinney. I'm a family nurse practitioner student at Southeastern Louisiana University, and I will be presenting to you our clinical practice guidelines, evidence-based practice presentation with my patient here. He is a 45-year-old male who presents to the clinic today for his annual wellness check after he got an elevated reading at a pharmacy nearby. A little history. He has been here twice in the past. Both times he had elevated readings. They were 170s over 90s. He had a follow-up visit for each occasion. He failed to present, and his reason is because he felt like he was just nervous, and that's why his blood pressures were elevated. But when he went to the drugstore and he sat down and did a blood pressure reading, he got a high reading. It was 177 over 98, so that made him prompt and call me for an appointment. So I'll show you how our visit goes. Hi, how are you today? Good, good. I'm well, thanks for asking. So it looks like you have a history of high blood pressure readings in the past when you visited me. You did not come back to the office as scheduled. You said that you didn't need to be monitored because it was only because you were nervous in my presence as a, around a healthcare professional. But you got another high reading, and I'm just glad that you called and made your follow-up, and we're going to do this as your annual visit as well. So today, your blood pressure in the office was 156 over 92, and that is considered stage 2 hypertension reading on on the actual scale. You have had 2 past readings in this range, and so it pretty much, we're diagnosing you with hypertension. So with that being said, who do you have with you today? Is it okay that we talk in front of your daughter? Okay, so we're going to talk to you and your dad about things that we can do to prevent this disease from getting worse, getting it under control the best way we can. And it seems as if you guys have a few questions for me on what hypertension is, how did your dad get it, how did you get it, and all these things. So the first thing we're going to go over is what hypertension is. It is when pressure in your blood vessels become too high. You have normal, elevated, stage 1, and stage 2. Normal is a blood pressure that's less than 120 over 80. Elevated is a number that ranges from your systolic 120 to 129, and the bottom number is still less than 80. The bottom number is called your diastolic blood pressure. So you have your systolic and your diastolic. Stage 1 is when your systolic is between 130 to 139, or your bottom number is between 80 and 89. And stage 2 is when your top number is 140 over or higher, and your bottom number is 90 or higher. So we would categorize you as stage 1 right now, okay? So there's a thing called secondary hypertension as well. So this could be caused by another medical condition that you have going on, or a medications that you take. It could be a diet pill because it has stimulant-like activity, or an actual stimulant if you have ADD or ADHD. Medical conditions such as kidney disease, heart disease, and other things can also cause secondary hypertension. The way to treat this is pretty much treating the hypertension and whatever is causing it. I know it sounds crazy, but hypertension is very, very prevalent in the United States. Actually, Louisiana ranks 45th out of 50 for hypertension by state. So us as a state, we've got to do better with, getting this disease under control, preventing it, screenings, all those things. So we've already done our screenings with you. I would have liked to acted on it a little faster, but it's fine. You're here today, and we're going to get it under control. So some causes of hypertension: if lack of physical activity, obesity, hereditary, you're African American, it is very strong, seen more in African American males. Alcohol consumption, unhealthy diets, if you eat a lot of food high in fat and salt, and it usually develops over time. This isn't something that you just get one day. and sometimes you don't have signs and symptoms of it. That's why it's known as the silent killer, because people don't know that they have it, and then it gets so extreme that it leads to other life-altering disease processes, such as a stroke. It's diagnosed when your blood pressure reading is above 140 and or your diastolic above 80. 2 separate occasions, 2 separate visits. For you now, we have 3 visits, so we're really going to act fast. It's important not to drink alcohol, coffee, exercise at least 30 minutes before taking your blood pressure. And if it's the first time your healthcare provider is taking your blood pressure, we would do both arms, which we have done in the past, and both readings were elevated. So, consequences. This is the scary part, and it doesn't have to be scary, because if we get this under control and get you on the right track, these things will not happen. We will avoid them by all means. Some of the consequences of untreated hypertension include heart attack, heart failure, stroke, kidney disease, kidney failure, vision loss, sexual dysfunction, angina, which is chest pain, chest discomfort, and peripheral artery disease. So it's head to toe. It can really, really take a toll on your body and your major organ groups. So, ways that you can improve your blood pressure. And daughter, you can listen as well. I know your wife's not here, but you can pass this all on to mom. And I'm going to give you this presentation to bring home just for information to have at hand, okay? So things that we can do and work on for your blood pressure. Lose weight. You're not morbidly obese. Your BMI is a little on the higher end, so we can lose weight here. So that's going to include exercising regularly, 150 minutes per week. That's 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week of moderate intensity aerobic exercise. If you have a pet, if you want to make this something fun to do with your wife or your daughter, anything to get you moving. We're going to get you on a healthy diet, and we'll go into details on that in just a minute. We're going to limit alcohol, quit smoking if you are a smoker, which you are not, so that's good. Reduce stress, and we're going to get you to start monitoring your blood pressure at home. You've got to keep your provider visits, so if we have a scheduled follow-up, it's important that you come. And I'm going to put you on a new medication today. It's a thiazide diuretic. You're going to take it daily. It's what people usually refer to as a fluid pill. It just kind of gets that excess fluid off of you. So I would advise you to take it in the morning. That way you won't be disturbed throughout your sleep having to urinate throughout the night, okay? So with all of those things, I feel like we can really, get a handle on this. It sounds like you're very, very motivated. You kind of told me the kind of foods that you like to do, with your Cajun background, you guys like to gather and eat and drink good. So it's just going to be lifestyle modifications. It's going to be cutting back a little. You can still eat. You're just going to have to be a little more selective. I would limit the alcohol completely if you can. I know you just have a few beers a week, but it still does play its part in your hypertension. So I know I mentioned doing your blood pressure at home. So I actually have one in the office that I can show you. So this one is actually approved by the AHA, the American Heart Association, as a home blood pressure monitor. They want you to use one that has a cuff that goes on your bicep, and they have arrows and kind of tell you how to put it on and take your blood pressure, and you have to make sure it's the right size. It's automatic, so it's battery operated, or you can plug it into a USB. So I gave you kind of the guidelines of where we want your blood pressure to be, and you can always monitor. We'll refer to the chart that I gave you to make sure that yours is in the right, in the right range that we want it. And I also want you to start tracking your loggings. I want you to log your readings every day. I want you to take it twice a day, same time in the morning, same time at night. I know you work in technology and you're pretty good with, tech and smartphones and apps. So I also want to mention to you about this app that's on the market called Smart BP. It's free. You go in, you download it, and you can log all of your readings from here into your phone, and it will save. And our system actually works with this company manufacturer. That way it can come right to me, to your chart, so I can kind of keep an eye on your pressures as well. So taking your blood pressure, we want you to sit still. We want you to sit correctly upright. You want both of your feet on the floor. You want to rest your arm at heart level. And we always want to make sure our feet are not crossed and that we're not talking. And then press the start button, get your logs. If you feel like it's a little inaccurate, maybe too high or too low, try it 5 minutes later on the other arm and see, okay? And you can always reach out to me if you feel like, okay, I'm getting a number 140 over 90, 150 over 70. And if you feel like that's out of your normal, which it should be, I want you to let me know if you keep getting those numbers 2 days consistently, okay? So diet-wise, I know you said you love your rice and gravy and smoked meats and pork and all of that. We're kind of gonna have to steer away from that for a while and try and make it a lifestyle change. Make sure you get your fruits and veggies, your healthy grains, your lean proteins like fish and chicken and eggs, and foods that are high in potassium, calcium, magnesium, fiber, and avoid all trans fat, saturated fat, high sodium foods like pork skins, potato chips, fried foods, all of those things. And I know you like to cook, so there are ways to modify recipes to make them heart healthy for you, okay? Speaking of recipes, on the American Heart Association website, they actually have recipes that are geared for individuals with hypertension or some type of cardiac issue. They are very low sodium. They have fresh fruits, veggies, herbs, just a different take on your favorites. So like baked Cajun catfish and jambalaya and red beans and rice, like all of those things that you probably do like are on this website with a modified version that you can still make taste good, okay? Okay. I mentioned the app to you. So when we leave here, I want you to take a little test. I'm going to give you this presentation, and then I will follow up with you and see how you did, and we'll go from there. So as of now, I'm going to see you back again in 6 weeks, but I want you to start taking your hydrochlorothiazide daily, in the morning preferably, drinking lots and lots of water because it does make you urinate the fluid off of you, to help bring your pressure down. I want you to change your diet, and I really want you to get those workouts in, okay? Are there any questions that I can answer for you? I know that you're a very active person, so these changes won't be such a struggle. Maybe the food may be a little different, but I feel like you can put your own little twist on it and still make it yummy for you, okay? And no other questions? Okay, well, I sent your medication to the pharmacy you have in here located in Zachary, Louisiana, and just follow up with me. Make sure you get this blood pressure cuff. You can get it from Walgreens or even Amazon just as soon as possible so you can start taking those readings. All right, thank you.